All right, everybody, it's time for art class with James. Okay, so this is I'm just gonna do one of these frames, and hopefully it's educational for everyone. So, this is what, okay. Basically, with your lines, when you do the lines with the like neon pens or whatever, you want to make sure that it's not too, you want to break it up a little bit. Like sometimes like a little bit of solid line is good. You just don't want it to feel like, it should feel kind of ephemeral. And yeah, the line breaks don't have to be in the same place for every frame. You can sort of like dash it a little differently as you see fit. And then here's this one. The other thing that sometimes happens is that, well, depending on where you are in the pen, like if the pen's about to run out of ink, you might have to like go over a line a couple times to get the kind of like opacity that you need. But also it's like, again, like a little bit of variable opacity in the line work is good. You know, it's like, if it's too solid and similar, that's actually a bad thing. And yeah, and one thing to obviously, yeah, they should all be consistent with the references in terms of what colors are being used where, because I did some earlier ones where different lines were different colors for different frames, and it was no good. So just use the same colors on the same spots. It feels to me like there's two kinds of lines. There's like ones that define very clear shapes, and then there's like these floor lines which are more just like textural and can vary a little bit more between frame to frame. They don't always need to exactly outline the same spot. If they kind of delineate the same sort of area, that's fine. So here, for instance, the lines, it's like not giving me a full opacity. That's fine, I don't need it to. I could just go over certain parts. I think make sure that you just don't want it to be too thick in any part. Like try to make it not, even if you go over it, try and not let it get too much thicker than the width of one of these thin guys. And a little like kind of tremble in the line work is like I think is like a nice vibe, a little sort of like, I said it, tremble. I'm trying to think of the like classical music term. What would you put on sheet music to like tell the orchestra to do this line in this way? Are you gonna be more than a memory? Mm-hmm. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes. Eyes and ears and a mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes. Okay, so now I've done the line work and now I'm going to do a little bit of pastel. And you know, you'll probably be able to tell from the example frames exactly what needs to happen. I think that, again, there's like some embellishment you can do if you want, but basically the important point is to basically like use the color tones that are already in the image with like, you know, a rare exception where you're, which will be like probably pointed out, you know, on the example or the first frame that you get. But like the inside of the store is like a sort of like a subdued brown world. So like we're gonna use all these earth tones. Wow, I feel like Bob Ross. Make sure that your convenience store has lots of happy little snacks. Are you gonna be more than a memory? And then, yeah, so the important thing about the pastel is to follow, when you smudge it, follow the directionality of the image. So like these ceiling tiles, you know, obviously have a direction built into them. So just like smear it in that direction, so it feels like it's like moving. Or I don't know what I'm saying. And yeah, just make sure the pastel feels like smooth. Like obviously when it comes down, it has that sort of pastel-y texture. And I think with the pastel, a little bit goes a long way. You don't need to, you can usually use the tip rather than the like long side of it. Somehow laying it down in that way seems like better to me. And sometimes you do too much, but that's okay, because somewhere there is an eraser. Here's one. So I suppose we need to get more erasers for everyone. And if you find like sometimes you lose a little bit of the pop, you can go back in with the pen and just re-up a tiny bit. What else does that need? A little bit here. Yeah, so that's basically it. And hopefully you can, everyone can make sense of the colors. The example frame will be that obvious. And there's only so many colors that things can be, so hopefully it's obvious. All right.